Recently, an article on a Git alternative was on the front page of Hacker News. Git, if you don't know, keeps track of changes in software source code. It's vital for any non-trivial software development project, so much so that Git workflow has influenced the practice of agile project management. But Git is difficult to master completely. Git commands, especially for the simplest operations, like updating a branch from the main branch, except for those operations, are usually performed from the command line, and while it is hard to lose data while performing a mistaken Git operation, Git is not what UI designers would call safe and discoverable. It's easy to mess things up, and there's no simple universally applicable undo command that reverses all operations. Nevertheless, Git is so useful that it is almost a given for all modern software projects. Almost everyone uses it, while at the same time many people find some of the powerful but less often used operations hard to understand and to use and to recall when they are needed. Finding a promising alternative to Git, therefore, is always interesting. I already mentioned the lack of a universal undo as a problem, but there must be more to it, or the dozens, maybe hundreds of attempts to create a visual interface, or GUI for Git, that accesses the full capabilities of Git would already have tamed the complexity, without sacrificing access to all of the capabilities. This is remarkable because nearly every visual user interface is built on top of an API that performs operations on a data model. Git, however, seems like a diabolical experiment in making an API that thwarts every attempt at a visual interface. Partly to blame is Linus Torvalds designing Git for the purpose of his personal workflow when he was lead maintainer of the Linux kernel. Partly to blame is a lack of ambition on the part of visual interface developers. If they knew Git thoroughly enough to build a visual interface, they may be too comfortable with needing a command line interface when their visual interface falls short. Source code control is a vital need. As such, it deserves a high level of effort at making it visually understandable and usable and making the operations discoverable through a direct manipulation graphical interface. Imagine having to use a formatting language like TeX or TROF for all but the simplest document formatting. It would be intolerable.